This is CPM Precalculus, Chapter 3, number 11. So here we're asked to write an equation for the perpendicular bisector of the segment joining A, which is at -2, 3, and B, which is at 4, -5, in point-slope form. Okay, so the equation of a line in point-slope form, we know takes the form y minus y1 equals to m times x minus x1, right? We need a point and a slope to create it. That's why it's called the point-slope form. Okay, so the other thing we need to know is perpendicular, we know what that means. That means the slopes of a perpendicular line is the negative reciprocal of the original slope. Bisector means it intercepts, right? Intercepts at the midpoint. Okay? So let's quickly sketch this so we know what we're doing visually. A over here is at -2, so I'm going to go left 2, comma 3, that means up 3. So here's A, right? B over here is at 4, comma -5, so 4 to the right, -5 down. So this is B, right? So here, quick sketch is, this is the segment AB. Our perpendicular bisector, remember, is going to be perpendicular and intercept this segment at the midpoint. So we have to find the midpoint, and we know the slope is going to be the opposite reciprocal, right? The negative reciprocal of segment AB. Okay, so the green line here is what we want to find the equation for in point-slope form. So how do we do that? Well, there's a couple of things we need to do. First, we need a point, right? So we need a point, and that is going to be the midpoint of A and B, right? So that's going to be the midpoint of A and B. And we can get that by looking at the midpoint formula is just adding the x values, dividing by 2, adding the y values, divide by 2, right? So the midpoint is equal to, add the x values. Well, the x value is the first number, so -2 plus 4 divided by 2, comma the y values, 3 and -5. 3 plus -5 divided by 2. -2 plus 4 is 2, so that's 2 over 2, comma positive 3 plus -5 is -2 over 2. So that's equal to 1, comma -1. So there's our point. Our slope, remember, is going to be the negative reciprocal of the slope of this line. Well, what is the slope of segment AB? We know that's the change in y over the change in x. Right, so we can go ahead and solve that. Well, the change in y, 3 minus -5, the y values, divided by the x values, -2 minus 4. So this, remember, becomes positive. So this is 8 over -4 minus 2 is -6. We can simplify that, and that's -4 over 3. So that's the slope of segment AB. So we know the slope of our line, the perpendicular bisector, is going to have the negative reciprocal. So it's going to be negative, and the reciprocal means to flop the numerator and denominator. So negative of this number with the numerator and denominator flopped, and two negatives make a positive. Okay? So here's our point, here's our slope, and we have the point-slope formula, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. y1 is right here, so y minus -1 is equal to m 3/4 times x minus x1, 1. Right? Let's go ahead and simplify that a little more because two negatives make a plus. And we are done with the equation for the perpendicular bisector. And this again is point-slope notation or point-slope form. Okay, so that ends for our CPM Precalculus Chapter 3, number 11.